I'm thinking. Realistically, let's say June 5th as a deadline.
To get the
permit. In other words, you come in as soon as you possibly can, sir, to fill out the application. But that application is going to have to go in front of the Planning and Zoning Board.
Right.
For various approvals and making sure it's all structurally meets our code. And under your circumstances, I'd like to build in a little more time. Would June 5th be realistic?
Okay.
Because he could make potentially the April 29th P&Z meeting.
Yep, he can.
Okay.
So, any more comments? If not, I'll make a motion.
Yeah, are you talking about?
And sir, by the way, if for some reason
Yeah.
Planning and Zoning doesn't agree with what you first come forward with, if there's a lot of back and forth, please let staff know, and then they can come back to us and extend that deadline. I mean, we need to give you a compliance date. We need to have a sense of urgency. But if you run into any issues through the permitting process, please keep them posted, and you can come back and ask for an extension.
Are you saying the driveway has to conform to one of the 7 that are listed on that
It has
flyer?
to conform to the ordinance, yes, sir.
On the flyer, the pictures of the 7 driveways.
Well, there's also a written set of instructions as to what it has to do. So yes, it does have to conform to the ordinance. You should have had that in your packet.
Right.
And yeah. And Planning and Zoning is the ones who will tell you what you're putting in. Planning and Zoning, what do they call Planning and Design Board now? You have to go in front of them for them to approve your location and your driveway.
Whether you want to find your contractor or whether you're doing it yourself, however you're doing it, there will be plans you'll need to submit. They'll explain as you go, staff will explain as you go through the online permitting process. Now, sometimes there's a hiccup when you go in front of Planning and Zoning. They have other constraints that perhaps you missed in the ordinance. If you need an extension, you can come back to staff and then come to us.
Okay.
And
right.
We can talk about an extension, but right now we've got to give you a compliance deadline.
To get it started.
Okay.
To start the whole process, you mean? Yeah.
Correct.
Right. Okay. Not to complete the entire project. No. Okay.
No.
Right.
Okay. If there's no other discussion, right. I'll make a motion. In case CEN 23-341, a violation did occur, assess a $250 fine, $250 admin fine, give a deadline of June 5th, 2024 for the property owner to come in compliance by pulling his permits, or else a $250 daily fine.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Thank you, sir.
$250 fine for
the fine for the violation, sir, is $250. There is an administrative fee of $250. If you comply by June 5th or ask for an extension and are granted that, there'll be no daily fine at that point. But if you don't comply and don't come in for the extension, there would be a $250 daily fine.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay.
And please go in and see staff, make an appointment, and they will work it through with you.
The next item is in section 8, and it's item number 8.6. For the address 1075 Northeast 119th Street. The case number is CEN 23-510. Natalie Alicia Ejadara. Okay, is that right? They were found to be in violation of chapter 5.6 off-street parking for a driveway. As of today, they are non-compliant, no permits in the system.
Hi, everyone. My name is Carlos Bordagna. Yes,
The board have their discussion first, if you would.
got it.
The notice of violation was given in December with a compliance date of January 16th. Had there been any communication with staff during that period of time?
Communication?
I haven't had any communication with the property owner.
None.
None.
Any questions, concerns from the board? All right, if you would, identify yourselves and your relationship to the property.
All right. My name is Carlos Bordagna. I own the property next door, 1065 Northeast 119th Street. So we're neighbors. And I'm building a brand new home, ground up next door. As for the communications, she sent her attorney sent an email to the city on December 20th, 2023. The email is pretty extensive, but aside from that, the reason why I'm here is we're building a home next door, and because of the temporary fence, we rarely have parking. So I am using a lot of her parking next door on the grass and on the side of the house. So wanted to see if we can extend the time lapse for her to give you guys a driveway plan until I'm a little more moving forward to the house, so I don't ruin the new driveway, or because I'm gonna ruin the grass. I already know that, and I'm planning on helping her with the plans for the driveway and with the driveway itself once I do mine as well. So that's why I'm here.
So you've got to understand, really, the driveway ordinance started with the compliance date 2 years ago.
Okay.
We're way behind in compliance here. So
No, I understand, but she
we
got her email in
can't-
December.
May I finish? We can't wait ad infinitum until you finish. For you is a very major project next door.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with that.
Yeah.
And what's going on. Again, it's a very major project. If your plan is to wait until you've completed that to do her driveway, that's not going to work.
Oh, no, not completed, but at least on the shell, we have big trucks coming in every day. So I'm talking about 6 months, just to push it for about 6 months. Because
For me, I'm only speaking for me, obviously, the person I can speak for.
right.
Considering this is 2 years in the making altogether, the original deadlines for the driveways are 2 years old, another 6 months.
There's going to be fines of $250 a day. Do you
Okay.
want that to
No, my
add
question,
up for 6 months?
I think the best way to approach it is the driveway a aesthetics? We want the neighborhood to look good and proper for the cars to park, on a driveway. Because today you got to spend 10 grand to make a driveway
Yeah.
somewhere there. So it's
The driveway ordinance was passed several years ago, and
Yeah.
we've always had a driveway ordinance. We upgraded it, and we still have a driveway ordinance that a lot of these driveways were not in compliance with. They were just let go for a long time, and finally the city decided it was time to enforce the ordinances.
Truthfully, the
Okay.
point isn't aesthetics or not aesthetics. The point is, it is one of the village's ordinances. And again, there's always been a driveway ordinance. It was slightly tweaked and and that deadline to come into compliance 2 years ago. Now you're asking for another 6 months. I'm not comfortable.
Gadgetar. I'm the home
You-
owner for
okay.
1075 Northeast 119th Street. So my question is, what's another 6 months if we are going to be in compliance and Mr. Carlos is doing the construction next door and is using my property to park their cars for his employees or whatever, or trucks going up and down on my property. I mean, I understand what you're saying, that there's always been an ordinance for our property to look good. One of the reasons we as homeowners live in Biscayne Park is because it's small, it's beautiful, it's a little oasis. But what's the rush?
May I
Ma'am,
say
it's 2
something?
years old. This is not a rush. The
May I say
deadline was
something?
2 years
Okay,
ago.
I understand that, but I also got the first letter in December. Granted, that's 5 months ago.
Okay.
Okay.
Natalie, Carlos cannot park on your property. Parking on the grass is a violation. So just because he hasn't received a violation so far, doesn't mean he's compliant. He cannot do that. It's against
Can't
the
do
ordinance
what you're
to park
allowing
on the
him to
grass.
Where is he
do.
supposed to park?
That's
Not for me to answer.
whether he has to park elsewhere and bring his employees in, whatever he has to do, but he cannot park on the grass of other
grass.
properties. That's a violation of another one of our codes. So you're asking us to not only give you 6 months, but to be indulgent on another code violation. You can't do that.
This is daily big trucks. It's not
I'm sorry,
parking a
into
car.
the mic, please. It's got, for the recording, into the microphone.
Yeah, we have big concrete trucks and,
That,
stuff like
and
that.
you have to fit them on your property that you're working on. They can't be on grass or swales or medians of other properties.
We have a mandatory temporary fence. We have no space in front. Like, you can fit 2 small cars in the front, but that's
Well,
it.
again, that we need to deal with not your situation, sir. If that ever comes in front of us, that's a different story.
Okay.
We need to deal with this property owner's situation. I'm not comfortable with 6 months.
No, I'm comfortable with 60 days.
Good with that?
And what is it that you would like in 60 days?
In 60 days, you would need to have applied for the permit and
Have plans.
obtained the permit through our planning and zoning department. And then you would have the length of time that that permit is granted for to then get your driveway in, but at least to get that permitting process started and finalized so that you can go forward.
Okay. What's the time frame for the permit?
We know that it's at 6 months.
Permits are valid for 6 months, so the driver has to be installed within 6 months once it's issued.
There you go.
But
You
you
got,
need to have it in hand first.
you got
And what's the cost for the permit?
You'd have to ask at the building
That's
department.
With the building department, we are code.
We don't have those.
So what's 60 days from now, according to your calendar?
That would be
June.
June 19th, roughly.
That works. Thank you.
All right, I'd like to make a motion that that violation has occurred on CEN 23-510, and that we are going to give the homeowner until June 19th. There'll be a 250 to June 19th. Is that what I not said? My brain. There'll be a $250 fine for the violation, a $250 administration fine. And if there is no permit by that date, it'll be $250 a day.
I'll second the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. So your deadline is June 19th to come into compliance by obtaining your permit.
Okay, so no dollar amount of 250 has to be paid.
You have a 250 violation fine, a 250 administrative fee.
Right now?
Yes.
Yes.
The daily fine will only kick in if you're not in compliance by June 19th.
That means
So I have to pay $500 to you guys?
Yes. Next item is the new business, section 8. It's 8.2. Address is 845 Northeast 117th Street. The case number is CEN 23-440. Joseph Fretchett Jr. Found to be in violation of Chapter 5.6 of the off-street parking driveway violation. Joseph is requesting a continuance of 60 to 90 days, non-compliant, and there are no permits in the system.
I just requested
Well,
60 days, if that helps.
Joe, let us.
Okay.
Courtesy notice was issued April of 2022. So we are 2 years this month. Notice of violation last October. That's 2 years. Kind of rather lengthy for it to languish around. Staff, what communication, if any, have you had with the property owner after the courtesy notice? Okay, but this is very recent. This doesn't go back. My interest is 2 years ago, the courtesy notice was given. That's kind of a long time, Mr. Frechette, to have worked out a timeline, a repair, a requirement. And instead, here we sit 2 years later.
Okay to talk now?
Judy,
Okay.
Rodolfo, anything?
I've had
Please, if you would, your name and your relationship.
Joseph Burchett Jr. I'm the owner of the property, and I have multiple correspondence. So I don't know if it's not just recent correspondence. I have correspondence in December of 2022. I have correspondence in December, 2 separate correspondence in December 2023. I met with the code person in 2023, and I had correspondence in March of this year, which I couldn't find, and then several pieces of correspondence and phone calls since I got the last notice of violation. But I did have prior emails.
But I'm sure you can appreciate courtesy notice dates back 2 years, and we're
Yes, I
only
got it,
now
and I had
getting to the meat of the
explained
issue.
at the time, I wanted to get my trees, because I had 2 things on the courtesy notice. I had the driveway violation, and I had my roof needed to be cleaned. And I explained that I was going to have the tree trimming done first. And then after the tree trimming was done, I was going to clean the roof. So the roof cleaning violation went away. And it wasn't a violation, sorry, it was a courtesy notice. I originally had hired the next door neighbor's landscaping person to do all I had to do was replace the Chattahoochee in my driveway. So I originally hired him. When he was unable to do it after several months, the tree person then said that he would be able to do the driveway for me. He took between 4 and 5 months to do my trees, and I wasn't happy at all with the job that he did with the trees. So I told him I did not want to use him for the driveway violation. I then had a recommendation from a client of mine who has a landscaping service. I talked to that person. This was in September, October of last year. He was supposed to lay the Chattahoochee in December. We had very bad rain during that time period. He said he would be back in January. He never came back in January. So in February, I went back to the Edwin, who was my next door neighbor's landscaper, who also handled my father at the time and my sister. I was keeping the village informed in terms of what was going on.
While I can appreciate the difficulties in South Florida
Right.
of getting folks to get things done, this has just been in this flux case of limbo
Right.
again for 2 years. At some point, as property owners, we've all got the responsibility to get the right people in place to be able to follow
Right.
the ordinances of the communities we
Right.
live in. If there's a problem with one, you've got to get someone else. You just can't keep cycling through.
I understand, but it's not as though I was sitting around doing nothing. I had, to be quite
Okay.
frank, I had my father in hospice, and my
Mhm.
father passed away last June. That
Sorry
was
to
my
hear that.
primary concern until that happened. I had my trees done within 2 months of my father passing, and I've been working on this since then. I've been a resident here for over 30 years. This is only the second time I've been in front, and the first time I was in front, I was incorrectly brought in front of the board, and that was
We're not
dismissed.
dealing with that.
I understand, but I'm saying I've been here 30 years. It's over 30 years. It's hardly as if, you know, I haven't been attentive in terms of taking care of my
So
house.
realistically, when would you want to apply for your permit?
Well, the thing is, I've already talked to Mr. Nibbs previously. I had been told by my landscaper originally that I would not need a permit because I already have a border on the east side of my driveway and the north side of my driveway. I did send photos to Mr. Nibbs. I told him when he asked me why I hadn't pulled a permit, I can show you my photos. So I don't have a border on the west side. I have a border on the east side and I have a border on the north side. It's just not showing up in the photos.
Yeah, well, I believe the code requires there to be borders on all sides,
I know.
including the
I've
street.
west side, I've already said that. And I had a border on the west side. My neighbor removed what I had for a border on the west side. So
Am I correct? Borders require
A permit, yes,
permits,
Okay.
Joe.
well,
because it's poured concrete.
Mr. Nibbs will tell you that the last 2 weeks that we've been talking, I said that I would, you know, come in. I had a difficult time even reaching the landscaping person to see what amount of time he would need. But I did say I would come in and
Alright.
talk to him about the
I think-
permit. If I'm required to pull a permit, then I'll pull
You
a
are
permit.
going to be
Okay.
required to pull a permit.
Right,
And you're gonna have to go in front of the Planning and Zoning
right.
Design Board.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to keep things as environmentally friendly as possible. That's the whole reason I have Chattahoochee, you know, so I don't want a lot of concrete in my driveway. And like
No,
I
and
said,
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Any other comments, questions? I'll entertain a motion. I'll go ahead. I'd like to make a motion in case CEN 23-440, a violation has occurred, assess a $250 fine, a $250 administrative fee, give the property owner until June 5th to pull any necessary permits. If compliance is not met by June 5th, then a $250 daily fine.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 3-0.
okay, thank you
June 5th.
very much.
The next item is in section 8 and it's 8.9.
8-9?
8.9, and it's for the address 1105 Northeast 118th Street, case number CEN-23-501. This is for Luis Somoza, found to be in violation of chapter 5.6 of street parking for a driveway. In this case, we are asking that the board closes this case. The driveway has not yet reached the 50% deterioration requirement per code.
Is the property owner here?
Did he come? Oh, yeah, he did.
You are comfortable that it has not?
It has not. I re-inspected the property.
I have to say, I'd agree. We're
Hi,
good,
good
sir.
evening.
We re-inspected and reviewed the file. The driveway is still good. If he can replenish it with some gravel, we don't even have to.
Make a motion to close the case. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you so
sir.
much. Thank you. Thank you.
It was Janie and Rodolfo. Next case is under section 7 and it's 7.6. Address is 11921-23 Northeast 12th Avenue. Case number CEN-23-339 for Arlette Romaine and Jean Pierre. They were found to be in violation of chapter 5.6 of the off-street parking for a driveway. As of today, they are non-compliant and no permits in the system.
Hi, my name is Arlette. I'm the owner of the property. Oh, sorry.
Right.
We just need to go over the timeline and a few things. And
Okay, no problem.
again, we have a courtesy notice given in April of 2022, so we're dealing with 2 years.
And another courtesy.
And a notice of violation given 8 months ago. So that there's been a lot of languishing in between. Has there been communication with the code staff?
Yes, she's been in the office several times and we've explained the process several times. As of today, we didn't have an application for a permit in the system.
I'm sorry.
As of today, there was no application for a permit in the system.
Questions and comments from the board? If you would, ma'am, introduce yourself again and your relationship to the property.
My name is Arlette Romaine. I'm the owner of the property. I don't live in the property. It's a rental property, so I didn't receive any notification or nothing for the property that I need to do the driveway. The other day, my nephew told me that he received something. Then when I asked him, that's when he said about the driveway, so I came in to find out about the driveway.
If you would pull the mic up and speak directly into it.
Okay, yes, yes. So that's when I found out about the driveway. So I came here. I was trying to apply for the permit, but it's a little bit confused for me because I'm not confused to me because I don't know how to do it. But anyways.
You're not the only one.
No, that's okay.
Trust me.
It's asking me for, you know, the tracing of the driveway and all of those things. And I don't have a contractor yet, so I'm looking for that.
That's important. You've got to do that.
Yeah, I don't have that yet.
Yes, ma'am. Because the details have to be as part of the permitting process. And when you go in front of P&Z, which anything outside has to go in front of planning and zoning, they are going to look at your application versus the ordinance and make sure everything fits.
Okay.
So that's critical. You really want to find a contractor
Okay.
who then should have an easier time filling out the permit.
Okay, question. Do you guys have a booklet like in the city of
No.
Miramar? They have those. They send to your house and you look and you find somebody because
No,
I
they
don't know
really can't.
anybody.
The city cannot
Recommend.
anyone.
No, they send a booklet like at your house for.
Yeah, the problem is
recommendation.
if we recommend somebody and that person doesn't do right by you, then
Okay.
you're going to come back to the city and say, no, 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 no.
Okay, that's fine.
Folks in the neighborhood who have put their driveways in, if you look down 119th Street, there are several new driveways. You might want to ask folks who they've used. They might be able to suggest, believe me, you won't have a hard time finding new driveways. There are several of them in that area.
Yeah, I've seen them, but I don't see anybody out. And I don't want to.
We do
I'm afraid
have-
of knocking people's
You
house.
go down 11th Place, there are several new ones.
We do have a booklet and we do have a booklet in the office if you need to see it.
Okay.
I thought I was told that you guys couldn't do that.
And it's on the website too.
I'm sorry, it's what?
It's on the website.
It's on the website.
okay.
Okay.
I'll have to look. Thank you. Okay, I stand corrected.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments, questions?
I'll make a motion on CEN 23-339 that a violation has occurred, that there will be a $250 fine for the violation, a $250 administrative fee, and that we give the homeowner until June, on when we did 5th and when we did 19th. June 19th. And after June 19th, if you have not pulled your permit, there'll be $250 a day fines. So you want to make sure you get between now and June, get your paperwork in order.
So it's the same thing for everybody.
Mhm.
I'll
Is there a
second
way
that
I could get
motion.
my mail to my house or by email? Because I don't receive mail there. I don't live there.
Okay, if you,
She did provide us with
Yeah, I
an
don't live
extra,
there.
she did provide us with an extra address. I did inform her when she came to the office that by law, we are required to
to who's on the
provide
property.
service to the address that is in the property appraisers. Now, if she wants us to send it to the address where she lives, she can change that with the property appraisers, and we'll be happy to be sending.
Okay, so where do I go to the property appraisers? Where is that?
Property
Downtown?
appraiser's office is downtown.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that, but I don't think it's fair because I don't receive notification and then all of a sudden I have to pay $500.
So the violation was posted at the property, and the courtesy notice was also posted at the property.
Okay.
So
but-
it's,
And again, we're limited by law who we can notify. And the only person we can notify is what's on the property appraisers.
has a family member, I believe, that lives on one side of the property.
Right.
So,
Right.
Doreen, it looks like I don't know if that's your signature, hand delivered.
yeah,
Oh, because I came there.
she came to the
Come
office.
to the office.
Mhm. And we had an extensive conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do need the mail to go to somewhere different, the city can do that, but only if you let them know. Let
Okay.
them know what's a more convenient mailing.
Yeah, but your other department, they sent me email. I received email, but not with this driveway business or whatever it is. But they sent me email, the other department, where I pay for the inspections and stuff. I received that via email.
Well, but sometimes what happens is the internet stuff that we do on the computers gets upgraded. And
Mhm.
sometimes once things are upgraded, things get lost in space. So now you know each other, you can work together with her.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Next item is in section 8, and it's item number 8.3. The address is 940 Northeast 119th Street for the case number CEN-23-513 for Alexandria and Alvord. They were found to be in violation of chapter 5.6 off-street parking for a driveway. As of today, we have had yes, they did apply for a permit. And I would like to enter onto the record, permit number DWS-24-22. They are asking for a 90-day continuance in order to process,
I'm sorry.
to go through the process. Yes, they have.
And a 90 days.
They're asking for 90 days so they can go through the process of the permitting process and
So that's critical to me. You've applied. I'm good with that.
Right. And the permit actually gives you 6 months.
Okay.
But once you've applied for the permit, it's off our hands.
Say, bring it back at the July meeting, July 17th. Okay, and I'll make a motion that in case CEN I'm sorry, any more comments from the board?
No.
You're good. In case CEN 23-513, that we table this case until the July 17th meeting, where if you folks please would come back with an update and hopefully your permits and everything will be good to go.
Thank you.
I need a second.
I'll second. Oh,
All in
okay.
favor? We're good. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
the next item is under section 7, and it's 7.4. This is for the address 11450 Northeast 10th Avenue, Case number CEN-22-105, Alejandro Bowers and Audrey McCullum. This is for an intent to lien. They were found to be in violation of 5.6 driveway. There has been no progress on this case. No permits.
Still,
They asked for time? Ooh. Sorry about that. They are asking for an extension on the comply by date, which happens to be March 20th. They've had a bereavement in the family and several hardships.
but I would say to extend, I'm willing to say give them a table it till the June meeting.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Okay, so in the case of CEN 22105, we will table this until the June 5th meeting.
Jenny, Judy, right? Yep.
We have to do a vote, or do we already vote it?
Next item is under section 9, and it's a fine reduction request for the address 1153 Northeast 119th Street. The case number is EEN 21-004, Larissa Garzon Garnett. This violation was for a fence. Fence installed without permit. However, there was, during the process of her being issued with the violation, she changed her mind and wanted to install something else. So she ended up installing planters, am I right?
Planter.
And she did get permits for that. The permits were finalized, but she has been stuck with this order of enforcement for, I think, 3 years now. There's a $700 amount outstanding. She's asking to reduce this amount to $100. And we recommend that same amount as staff.
The only thing, and I know I've said this before when you've been in front of us, I've got to emphasize, the fact that the fence was never installed really is not your defense. The whole reason for the citation was work with those posts was begun without permits. That's where the problem lies. Now, that being said, thinking again, only for me, I am perfectly fine with the $100.
Okay. Did you want me
Just to
make a-
clarify something, it was not a fence, it was a railing, and I'm requesting the reduction because during all the time, I was submitting
Ma'am,
permits with
we're
the
on
city.
your side. We're good. I'm
know.
sorry. I'm
Okay, I'll make a motion, but give me a second to find.
So when do I have to make the payment? I have,
They'll make the order now,
Okay.
the motion.
need to do it formally.
All right, on case EEN 21-0024, Larissa Garzon Garnett. She's offered $100 on the fine reduction. I make a motion that we accept that.
All in favor?
Is there a pay by date? A pay by date?
Thank you.
Yes, pay by date should be a month.
Orders of enforcement, I would say May 1st.
May 1st.
Or the fine reverts back to what it was. Thank you again for that reminder.
thank you.
It's Janie, it's Judy and Janie. Next item is in new business, section 8. And it's item number 8.1 for the address 844 Northeast 121st Street. Case number is CEN-23.
I'm sorry, Doreen.
I'm so sorry. 8.1,
Thank you.
We usually don't take things out of order like this, but we're trying to take care of the people as they came in because we were late.
844, 121st.
121st, the case number CEN-23-398 is for Darlene Matire. We are requesting an order of enforcement. They were found to be in violation of chapter 5.6 of street parking for a driveway. As of today, there is no permit in the system. Do we have a I'm so sorry. They did apply for the permit. I apologize. They did apply for the permit and they are asking for 60 days in order to complete the process.
90 days.
90?
Well, the permit actually gives you 6 months.
Get permit, you've got.
Once you receive the permit. Applying for the permit is one thing, but once you receive the permit, they give you 6 months. So we usually will give 60 days for you to finish the permitting process.
If you've just applied for the permit, because there is the potential of back and forth with P&Z, you might have to adjust some things, or it could fly through, but there could always be the potential. So I'm comfortable with 60 days to pull the permit, then you have 6 months there to finish the project.
Okay.
So you're really good to go. But the permit is the critical item that shows you've come into compliance.
Yes.
Okay,
That we took notice.
so I'll make the motion on CEN 23 dash, actually. should we-
398.
23-398.
He's pulled the permit already?
There is a permit, yes. I would like to enter onto the record before she does the motion. Permit number DWS-24-23. They have pulled a permit.
So, in light of the fact that the permit has been pulled, I think we should table this till June 19th,
June 5th meeting.
June 5th meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would table this till June 5th and we'll know the status for his permit then as to whether or not we need to go any further. All right, sir, you're good to go.
Do we have a second? Was Judy?
I'm sorry, I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
So no fee due, correct? Just to make that clear.
So you're good? You have until June 5 to go through the process. We'll bring it back for a status
All right, y'all have a great,
update, okay?
have a great day.
Okay, and then again, that permit, once you've got it finalized, you've got the permit, it gives you 6 months to complete the project.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Next item is 7.8 in section 7, old business. It's for the address 12010 Northeast 11th Place, case number CEN-23-420. This property now belongs to Brizo Fine LLC in care of their registered agent, Miami Accounting and Tax Services LLC.
Actually, we have two of the same situations. Do you want to just do them together?
Sure.
7.7 and 7.8.
7.7 and 7.8.
Essentially the
Right.
same issue.
Yes. So 7.87 for the record is CEN-23-408, and that case was for exterior paint and sightly paint discoloration of the exterior wall. Again, this property was, case was continued from another hearing because it has been bought and the new owners are here.
I mean, obviously, you're going to be tearing down the property, you're going to build a new structure. No one's expecting you to paint anything or put a driveway in at this point. My only concern is I always want to see a sense of urgency. We've got to set a deadline by which they come back in front of us with the permits pulled and ready to go, or a detailing as to why you're in the process. Because I'll give you a short version, long story. What happens all too often, think the house on 121st Street.
Yeah.
Someone starts a project, they go in front of P&Z the first time, have things they need to adjust, and that's it.
I understand.
Years later, we're still going back and forth. That's my reasoning why, obviously, we're gonna work with you, of course, but there's gotta be deadlines.
I understand.
Comments from the board?
No,
Go ahead. Sir, if you would, your name and your relationship to the property.
Okay. Hi, good afternoon. My name is Gerardo Valda, and I represent the new owners for this property. The plan for this property is to turn it down and build a new home. Now we are already working, we already did survey, we did all the process like the soil tests, etc., to build a 2 stories property in that location. And we're working with the architects, etc. And we did other homes with my team in the neighborhood. So we're very familiar with the steps and that we have to work with. The house is, the project will be similar to one of the existing projects that we're working right now with the architects and etc. We love the neighborhood. So we're trying to make it look good.
I would say we should table it till July 17th.
Okay.
That gives you, sir, 3 months to come back with permits, please.
Permits, okay.
Or
But
I'll
the
second that.
plans and everything, yeah. Okay.
table till July 17th meeting, if you could come back then.
Yes, I
We
will.
really need to see permits and see some.
We need to vote it. Do we need to vote it? We had a motion and a second. All in favor?
Motion carries 3-0.
For the record, this applies to both cases.
Yes, 7-7 and 7-8.
Okay, thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. So July 17th.
The next case is in section 8 of the, section 8 of the agenda, and it's item number 8.5. The address is 1006 Northeast 118th Street. The case number is CEN 23-498 for Sylvia Linke. There's a request for a 90-day continuance on this case to facilitate the sale of the property. The property is under contract. This was a violation of Chapter 5.6 of street parking for a driveway.
I would certainly entertain a motion to postpone, to table to July 17th.
A second.
All in favor? So in CEN 23-458 is tabled till July 17th.
Thank you, Sophia.
Judy. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know she got the motion.
She did. Janie, it was Janie and Judy, right?
Janie and Judy.
3.0.
We did a vote, right?
The next item is under section 7, old business. It's for item number 7.2.
7.2?
7.2. And the address is 981 Northeast 113th Street. It's for case number CEN-22-87 for Renee Alvarez. They were found to be in violation of Chapter 8.4.3A fences. They needed to remove or repair a damaged fence. There's an order of enforcement on this case, and we are here for intent to lien.
So there's been no, as of today, it is still not in compliance.
As of today, it's not in compliance.
Again, we're at almost a year. From the notice of violation, we're at almost a year. We granted a continuance in January. And we're not dealing with a project that requires a major capital investment. It's just sweat equity. Comments from the board? Or if you would, identify yourself and your relationship to the property.
I'm Steve Taylor. I'm the neighbor here on behalf of Renee. His father passed away this morning.
I would like, I always, well, I'd like to give one more opportunity. I'd like to give the property owner until, well, let's make a realistic date. Bear with me. Let's say May 8th to come into compliance, remove that fence, and pay all outstanding fines, or the village files the intent to lien.
I want to hear from.
I'll give you, so I got called on this today and Renee forwarded me an email that he'd been in communication with Luciano. His proposal, what he's saying is to give him until June 30. He wants to do this in sections because there is cost involved because it's a cement fence. So that's his request. He's asking to do it over 3 months because of the cost of it, because the concrete is so heavy.
It is a concrete fence.
It is a concrete.
I'm sorry, Mr. Taylor.
Yeah.
He got the notice of violation in May of last year. I mean,
I know.
again, yes, I understand disposal is heavy, but we're talking May of last year. The notice of violation, he's had all that time to do it piecemeal. We're coming on a year. I don't have a problem with the end of May, but going all the way into June, there's just too many things that languish. And just speaking again only for me, I have a problem with anything further out than the end of May.
Just to clarify, that's to get the permit and complete the work by end of May?
He has to take it all
Come in
down.
compliance, okay?
And there is is there a demo permit on the fence?
Does he need a permit for that? Because he's
It's
removed part
kind
of the fence already.
I see, that's why I asked them.
Well, initially, the whole fence got damaged while they were doing repair work for the city.
Mhm.
So the company took out part of the fence for him, and they didn't take out that other part to the rear, only the part that they damaged. So basically what the gentleman is saying, I met Mr. Renee Alvarez yesterday. He did come into the office and basically stated that it was a stroke or a seizure that his father had. That's why he couldn't be here today. So he did iterate that he wanted to do it in parts by months, and he sent an email.
Right. It's a partial fence. I'm not completely sure, but I don't think he needs a permit for that. He just has to remove them.
It would seem not, but I'd rather ask and get the right information than conjecture.
I'll check with the building department if they can give him up to, is it May 30th, you said?
I will attest, just as his neighbor, that over the years, Renee did do a good job of keeping the cement fence in order. When the cement would drop, he would replace it with wood planks to make it look similar and seemly. And yeah, it wasn't when they did the flooding project over there. It was all the machines that knocked those down. So I don't think his intent was to remove it. That kind of hastened it. So he has, I understand it's been since May. I know Renee well. But he has and kept it in good order. This was something that the city had done. So just, to take that into account, if maybe we can give him to his timeline here, it's 1 more month to the end of June.
All right. So you're saying he's confident by June 30th that he can have it all gone?
With the information I have in front of me, yes.
Like a good lawyer.
Yes.
All right, then my motion, I'm sorry. Anything else, Mr. Taylor?
No.
Okay. All right, my motion would then be in case, let me get the right.
CEN 22-87.
In CEN 22-87, that we give the property owner until June 30th to come into compliance by completely removing that fence. If not, the village is to file the intent to lien for the amount outstanding at that point and any applicable filing fees.
I'd second that.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
And just to confirm, when I talked to him, he does not need a permit. He just remove.
I'll have Luciano get in touch with him. We'll
Okay.
ask the building department just to make sure.
Okay, so we don't know. Okay, well, thank you very much.
The building department to be absolutely certain. You don't need one more piece of problem.
Right, right. Thanks,
And-
everyone.
And thank you for coming in and letting us know what's going on. We
Of
do
course, of
appreciate it.
course. He was done it for us for years.
Okay.
Sir, which case are you here for? I think none? Okay, all right. Next case in section 7.5 is the item number. And the address is 11460 Northeast 10th Avenue. The case number is CEN-22-106. This is for Carlos Palazzo and Lourdes Rosario. They are requesting for an extension on the comply by date of March 21st, 2024 per order of enforcement dated January 17th, 2024. The respondent, is that you, Carlos?
Yes.
Okay, he was deployed to Peru by the federal government. I guess he's here now.
Well, I do work for the U.S. Navy.
Sir, please, just a second. Let the board have the
Yeah.
discussion first. Is there any more background, Doreen, that you want to share?
That's it. Yeah, it's a driveway violation of chapter 5.6.
What I'm having a problem with, again, is a courtesy notice that was written December 6th of 2022. We're at a year and a half almost. The notice of violation was June of 23. We're almost a year on that. The order of enforcement is from back in January. So I understand there are reasons, your business, anything can keep you out of the country, just out of the area. But not only has this gone on for almost a year and a half, there are two owners on that property. As property owners, whatever goes on in terms of our business, we still have a responsibility to follow the rules and keep our properties up as the ordinances require. A year and a half, sir, is an awfully long time.
Can I talk now?
With two other board members. Anything?
I brought my passport just in case someone needs to review it. I left the country October 12th. I was here for just 2 weeks after February 15th. I came and paid the fine, the $500. I left 2 days later, and I just returned to the country yesterday. I brought a letter to the code enforcement or whoever who was addressed to Doreen Grant this morning. This is my original, showing my confirmation of the flights, a copy of the notice to appear.
I'm sorry, a confirmation of what, sir?
Of the notice to appear. And I came in this morning to pull a permit. The first thing they told me is that I don't need a permit. Then they said, I need a permit. I brought all the paperwork, but they tell me I have to apply online. So here I am.
So you are in staff, would somebody confirm, is Mr. Colazzo in the permitting process?
No, I went this morning and I brought all here's my file.
He did come to the office.
This morning.
I brought
And we-
everything.
Right.
I went
No,
to the
you-
building
you-
department, picked up all the forms,
Yes.
filled them all out, and I was told that
It has to go online and make the
had to go
application.
online.
So
I don't know why they have them there.
At this point, I'm not at all comfortable with a formal extension. What I would like to see the property owner do is go forward, apply for the permit, then, sir, after the fact, you can come back and ask for a fine reduction.
I didn't come to ask for anything. I came to tell you what I just did.
Well, no,
I
you're
don't
asking.
mind paying. I already
extension.
paid the $500 and I will pay anything else that I have to
Sure.
pay. okay?
You're asking for an extension.
I'm not asking for anything. I'm just telling you that I
Okay,
went to the
may I
building
to
department. I
explain what
tried to
we're
apply
looking-
for the
Sure,
permit.
Please.
Okay?
Somebody explain to me what we're looking at then.
Before Mr. Carlos came into the office today, we had communicated with him and he did ask for more time because he was in Peru at the time. I have it written on the file that the man is deployed by the US Navy and we needed to give him some time. However, he came in today and was trying to apply for a permit. He was, I think, filling out the paperwork when building told him he needs to go back and do it online. And maybe he just needed maybe one more day or 2 days. It's up to the board to give him a
Yeah,
little
but
more
there
time.
was also, I mean, if I can put on the record, the first thing I was told is that I don't need a permit. So then they say, well, you may need a permit. I need that clarified. What do I need to apply for? Okay,
Is
if
this
someone can
one-
tell me that, I'll be more than glad to apply for a permit.
Apply for a permit for a driveway.
I can't imagine.
Don't know why.
No permit. Okay. A little bit-
Permit.
My driveway is a Chattahoochee driveway, so
But it needs borders.
it doesn't have borders.
The current codes require concrete borders to retain that on all sides.
Okay.
So
It's all detailed in.
Yeah, I was
what I
given the
believe
booklet and I
is-
have it.
Yeah, it's in your packet.
Okay, so that's what I need to apply for?
Yes.
Just to build the retaining,
the
whatever you call
concrete.
it, the curbs?
So, would someone like to make a motion?
I would just like to mention that he has paid the $500. So
But while I appreciate that, I'm always concerned that folks realize the paying of those two fines doesn't mean things end. You still have to take this to its proper conclusion.
Well, since he started to try to pull the permit, can we give him until next month's meeting to have a permit before we enforce any more fines?
Well,
I
the
would
fines would have
recommend-
started back in March. They would have already started because the compliance date was actually February 20th.
So the fines are already on there, daily fines?
yes,
So my motion then would be, we can stop the daily fines. We're not gonna make them go away. They've already been there since February. We can stop the daily fines. Bring this case, when he's finally pulled the permit, everything's good to go. There you can come back in front of us and request a fine reduction. Again, I would stop the daily fines. The day he turns in the permit.
The permit.
application. Let me rephrase that.
we are
Have to
open
apply
tomorrow.
online.
If you do it
I cannot-
tonight,
I cannot turn it
Okay,
in.
Sir,
if you can do it tonight, your fines will stop tonight.
if you let me
I have
finish,
to
you'll
register
understand.
Tonight, right?
I'm sorry?
I have to register tonight, right?
If you, I'm saying if you do put in the application by tonight, then the fine stop today. If you put it in by tomorrow, the fine stop tomorrow.
Right now, sir, you have daily fines that have started as of February 21st.
That are $250 a day fines.
February
Uh,
21st.
The fines have started. The daily fines will stop when you turn in your permit application. After your permit is pulled, the project is done and finalized, you can come back in front of us for a fine reduction request.
Okay.
But we're not going to make those current fines go away, the daily fines. You'll deal with those after your project is done.
That's fine.
And again, the fines will stop as soon as the permit is pulled.
You said as soon as I turn the application in.
Yes, sir. As soon as you.
As soon as the permit
Permit is
is paid
pulled.
for and pulled.
She
Not,
said something different, right?
gotta be,
That's the boss right there. Those are the bosses, not me.
not to be, not just fill out the application.
That,
People do that and then don't go bother to pay for their permits. You have to fill out the application.
Pay the
Permit is granted, pay for the permit. Once your project is completed and finalized, You are then free to come back in front of us with a fine reduction request for the accumulated daily fines.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me make my motion. In CEN 22106, give the property owner is already initiated the permitting process. Once he has paid for and the permit has been granted, the daily fines that have been accumulating since February 21 will stop. Once the permit is finalized, and I'm sorry, once the project is finalized, the property owner is free to come back to ask for a fine reduction.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Point 3. Next item is in section 8, and it's 8.4. Case number 1000 Northeast 119th Street. Case number is CEN 23-508 for Patricia M. Costa and Daniel T. Desmond. We are requesting to have this case closed. Compliance was achieved before the hearing. Gravel driveway has been replenished.
Okay, unless anybody's got any questions? Motion to close the case.
Second.
CEN 23-508. We have a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Next item under section 8 is 8.7. The address is 1102 Northeast 118th Street for case number CEN 23-499. This property belongs to 1102 Northeast 118th Street LLC in care of their registered agent, Biscayne Urban Homes LLC. This is another request to close the case. Property is under construction. There's a permit number onto the record. PB-2331. This violation was for a driveway.
Motion?
I'll make a motion on CEN 23-499 that we close case
Second. All in
as
favor?
there's a permit.
Motion carries 3-0.
Next item in section 8. This is item number 8.8 for the address 1103 Northeast 117th Street. It's for case number CEN-23-447. Property belongs to Lee Elaine Wilkins and wife Frances. There's a request for a 90-day continuance to facilitate the sale of this property. The property is under contract. The violation was for a driveway. Eight point eight, do we have a motion? So that
And your-
there's a contract on?
I'm sorry. Is there a contract on the property?
It's 8.8, there is a contract on the property. It's for sale,
Tabled,
under contract.
tabled till July 17th?
I'm okay with that.
Sorry.
I'm okay with that, yeah.
So in CEN 23-447, I'd like to make a motion that we table until July 17th.
A second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0.
Next item is 8.9 under section 8 on the agenda. The address is 1105 Northeast 118th Street. It's for case
I'm sorry, which one? Hun?
8.9
Nine.
under section 8.
We did,
Oh, this one is done. I
I
apologize.
was gonna say,
Yeah.
8.9 we did.
This
No.
7.3.
I apologize for that. We can move on to section 7, and it's item number 7.3. It's for the address 11113 Northeast 10th Avenue. It's for case number CEN 22-104. Property owners are Nadia Doravine and Edith Rogies. They were found to be in violation of chapter 5.6 of street parking for a driveway. We're asking for an intent to lien. There has been no permit and it's still non-compliant.
They made any contact with you guys?
We did reach out to Dervin via email, but she has not responded. Miss Dervin.
Then I'll make a motion that in case CEN 22-104, a violation has occurred, that we assess a $250 fine to,
There's an order, intent to lien.
then I will,
All the fines are in place.
all the fines are in place, then I will make a motion on CEN 22-104 that we place a lien and add to that lien the administrative costs of imposing that lien.
Filing fees.
Intent to lien first. They don't
Yes.
do the lien, so it's an intent to lien and it's not.
Okay, then you make it.
I'm just showing the difference, because first, the process is first they have to get the letter.
We
that
finish with the
says-
motion so we can record it and then you can explain.
Okay, for discussion, you're right, we can do it for discussion. Go ahead, make your motion again.
I was going to make the motion on CEN 22-104 that we place the lien. But
I'll second for discussion. See, the first process, though, is they issue an intent letter. You don't
Okay.
go straight to lien.
okay,
So that's the only reason, because semantically, that is.
okay. So send the letter intent to lien.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
It passes 3-0.
I'm new at this still. I'm trying.
We have gone through all the items that were brought to the board on the agenda tonight. We're moving on to 10 discussions. Chairperson Jenny Anderson will not attend the meeting
I'm
of May 15.
It's muddy for me. Would you mind repeating that? I apologize.
It's
I
okay.
mean, I'll own it. I have hearing issues.
No, that's okay. We have gone through all the items in the agenda that we brought before the board tonight. We're moving on to 10, which is discussions. Chairperson Janie Anderson will not attend the May 15, 2024 Code Board hearing.
So everybody knows from now. Thank you. Let's see, there were a couple little things.
Okay, I was gonna ask on, when you put these papers together for me, I love the papers, but when it comes to driveway stuff, I've already got enough driveway ordinances that I keep throwing out. You don't have to put the ordinance in it for me. Just the pictures and the, I'll just keep one of these that has the driveway ordinance, rather than you having to make it up for every single packet. Does that make sense?
Noted.
So it
It's
just,
it's probably easier, though, if they just do everything.
no, just,
All right?
I understand what she means. We can do the violation sheet itself without the attachment.
yeah,
Okay, but we have to back up a minute, folks. We didn't do minutes.
okay.
Did everybody have a chance to read the minutes from
Yes.
April?
Yes,
Okay,
I
I
didn't have,
just found two very minor. Under new business, 8.1, on the second line, it's $250 plus and. You can take the and out. It could just be $250 plus an administrative fee. And there's one
I missed that. In the second line?
8.1, second line, after the word plus, you really don't need that and.
Oh,
You
yes.
can just say plus an administrative.
And, right.
Then I had a question on a motion in a second. Bear with me, I should have dog-eared that
I didn't
page.
even pick that one up.
In 9.2, Judy, you will hopefully remember. In 9.2, it shows Dale making a motion and Michael seconding it. I had it that it was you. Do you remember?
9.2, I brought my minutes. Hang on. Pull them out. March, was the March meeting? No. Yeah,
It was you.
it was March. Hang on. You, Dale, Judy. Oh, I wrote Dale, Judy, Michael.
So,
It was Dale, Michael. We went back and heard,
Okay.
listened to the,
I
I think we probably said it at the same time.
probably did. Okay, that's not a biggie. Does anybody else have anything? I have one thing to ask you guys, and I don't know how you folks could do this, but it seems like there's a lot of confusion for folks as to when there are short-term rental problems, what is the procedure? Now, I'm guessing that legally it would look like targeting were you to just generate a fact sheet of how to report issues with short-term rental. Is there any way, is it feasible to generate a general fact sheet, particularly with how folks report, well, for example, noise violations, what the process is? Because you hear from people all the time, I think everybody kind of knows what to do if it's a really heavy duty code violation. But when it comes to short-term rentals and those various problems that tend to occur in the middle of the night, they have no clue. And again, I'm conscious of the fact that to single them out would look exactly like you're singling them out and targeting. But if there was something general, it could be blast emails, a flyer,
absolutely.
something, because, folks are having issues and they don't know what to do at midnight when those issues are going on.
Okay, we'll be happy to put something out. The app that the village is using now to blast information, we can use that. The process right now is for people to call the police.
Yeah.
Because we don't work after hours. So the
They
police.
truly don't realize that. And they
Right.
don't realize the importance. Because oftentimes, if you report it once, the owner gets wind, the owner will fix it. They can't fix what they don't know.
But what I've heard is a lot of the neighbors don't want to report it because they're afraid if they report it, then the owners are going to know who did the reporting. But if reporting goes to police and not to code,
Yeah.
it can be anonymous. So
Exactly.
I would recommend you put that in your message.
That's
Thank you.
code is a problem, thanks to the legislature, that you
Police
have
is
to
not.
give your name and address. Anything goes through police can be anonymous, and that perhaps if that's able to be shared with folks. Okay, anything else? Anybody have? We're good?
Well, I'd like to apologize.
Adjourn?
I'd like to apologize again for my lateness today. Really,
Got here, that's what's good.
We're so happy you came because we were feeling so bad for all these people who took time out of
I
their
don't know.
day.
I didn't have the face up when I walked in.
Got here. Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, I'll second it. All right.
Okay, thank you. Motion, meeting adjourned at 8:02.
I didn't hear minutes approved. Were the minutes approved?
We did.
Oh,
With the changes.
thank you.
Yeah.
Mhm.